Hi everyone, Mature Simmer here. So I am popping on the server to get some of my material updated. I'm gonna get one load of lime, and then it just dawned on me to do anything with it I need an auger. So I'm gonna have to do that as well and get that over here. But we need to do that at some point. Now's as good a time as any. It's winter. There's not snow on the ground. It is not the middle of the day. I did not get in today, and clearly the server's time is off a little bit because it's almost 7 o'clock at night. So I'm going to have to remedy that tomorrow for certain. But it probably hasn't caused too much difficulty. I'm actually going to turn around and go the other way because, again, I can go through my field right now, and that will be a much quicker way to deal with things. So obviously we can see a lot further because trees are pretty sparse here, and what I think amounts to midwinter. I'm still trying to get used to the months. So since we talked last, part of my issue was not knowing what we could do with fertilization. At least a couple other folks have said they've seen the same thing on their servers, or some variation of it, so I guess that's a good thing. But definitely been something that I therefore haven't come on and worked on. But the question I'm going to have now is, I think we're not going to be able to fill this with lime because lime is pretty heavy. It's 1.2 per liter, so it's actually heavier than 1-to-1. And given that the weight on this thing is only like 24,000, like we may not even be able to get 20,000 lime in this trailer, but I'm gonna see how that all works out. I want to be in this one. The other one, the blue one, is liquid, which makes sense because it's blue, like water, but I'm clearly not thinking in a way that makes sense, because I just went by it, and now I'm probably going to create way more work for myself than I would otherwise. Alright. It does tell me I can start filling. I'm trying to make sure my wheels are set. Alright, there we go. So we'll get lime, but I think we're going to get stopped pretty quickly. I also have been kind of busy the last couple days, so I haven't been keeping up with the land auctions either. So there is a possibility there's fields that I needed to or should take care of that slip through the cracks, but hopefully I'll take a look at that in the next few days, or someone will let me know. Not seen anybody end up with anything else. Well, say that they've ended up with anything else. There we go, 22,832. So I am not surprised. Clearly, again, that means that we're going to have to take a lot of trips to fill that silo. But again, lime's heavy, so it's basically ground up rock, so it's like take rock and probably make it slightly more dense because you've now just pulverized it, so any kind of spacing that may have existed within the rock itself is totally gone. You've just got basically this fine powder. So I'm going to get this over to the farm, and then we'll take a look at what we want to do. Whoa! Hit that curve, and then we just spun out. That was something. That's all I could say. It was something. But anyway, my intent is get this in there, and then we'll go auger shopping. I think there's only 2 options, and I think honestly there's really only one, because I think the other one is pretty tiny. The thing I don't know is one of the FMs that took a look at this when they were taking a peek at the farm somewhat felt that we might need a little auger or a belt system to get the lime out of the silo too. I'm hoping that might not be the case, that we might just have the unload point there that we can pull up next to. I'm going to go ahead and try to do that here, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to tell me that I've got any kind of unloading capability. But we'll take a shot. Yeah, so it looks like I can fill, which is always a good thing. But there's nothing to fill with. Because, yeah, if I unload now, I'm pretty sure I'm going to just dump it on the ground. And I don't have anything to scoop it with, so I'd probably prefer to avoid that. But yeah, if I hit R, there's nothing. Nothing's coming up because there's nothing in the silo. Alright, so at this point, let's go look at the augers. Alright, so here under belt systems, these are basically the 2 that we have, and this one's just a lot longer. And for the slight price difference, I just don't want to then suddenly find out I can't get to the height that I need. So I'm going to go ahead and buy this, and we'll go fetch it. So I can probably do this without the quad track, but I don't want to. How about that? At this point I realize the store's the other way, but this is actually probably going to be the better way to bring it in anyway. Just given the size of the thing, because I know it's pretty long. So we'll head around to the store here. I will see you when I get there. I can see the auger there in the parking lot of the store. As I said, not a small item, but a necessary one, and one that's not hideously expensive. $25,000 in the grand scheme of farm equipment is a drop in the bucket. I may not be very happy with this thing, in the fact that the maneuverability of this in the trees could be interesting, but we'll see. It's not giving me the ability to connect. Can I not connect to this? I'm not honestly sure what, if anything, I can haul this thing with. Might require a pickup truck or something. It almost looks like you insert a hitch into it. It's just very strange. So, this thing is self-propelled. Not at an incredibly fast speed, as you can tell. So as ridiculous as it sounds, I'm just going to get this thing to the farm this way, so I will see you when I get there. Alright, so we're here. It's going to start overloading lime. It only took us half an hour. Yeah, it's working, I think. Yep, pouring in. It's not piling up on the ground, so it's a good sign. Let me just make sure. I'm going to run over here now. Yep. We have lime inside our silo. So that is our process. Biggest thing is going to be trying to figure out where to store this thing, but yeah, I was trying to lower the arm a little bit, and I was hitting the edge of the silo, so I absolutely needed this huge one, amazingly. But at this point, I think you've got an idea of what we've got. Sorry, I'm trying to get a good camera angle here. I guess that's probably the best one. But, I kind of drove it into our walkway to the house and did that. It's just a matter of, where do I store this auger, and, maybe I'll stick it next to the silo there. Sticking out toward the field, that might fit. I don't know. I'm sure there's somewhere. It's pretty thin, so. But I'll be moving some lime here for a little bit, and I guess I'll just show you what I've decided, or when I've just given up, because again, at $22,000 a truck, it's going to take a lot of loads. Even if I try to get 200,000, I got to make 9 more trips, but and I think it'll take that much, but I don't even remember how much the silo takes, so I'll take a look at that, but I'll give you an update when everything's all done. Alright, so it's later in the day. It's about 4:30 on the server, but once again, keep in mind it's hours and hours behind real time. It's really closer to about 11 o'clock at night at this point, so we get a little added benefit here of seeing this in the daylight instead of simply doing this in the dead of night. But what I determined is that silo holds 120,000 liters. So given that we're getting about 22,000 or 23,000 here, 5 trucks is basically what we can accommodate. And if I've kind of done my math correctly, obviously 20,000 is going to be 100,000, and like I said, we've got a little bit over 3, and so we should be able to get close to, I don't know that I'm going to push my luck here. I may stop it a little bit early, because the last thing I want to do is have lime in the trailer that I can't use, because I won't need lime for a little while anyway. Because the thing is, like, if we do 4,000, like, that will be too much. Well, but I should be okay at 23,000. For whatever, 862, because as long as if it was 24,000, we'd be at 120. 25,000, and I know we're not getting to 24, it's like 23 and change there, or not even, there you go, 22 and change, so was not remembering correctly, so yeah, we should be fine. We'll be a little bit under 115,000, and that's close enough to full. The goal is to just minimize the runs that we need to do, and obviously this truck still carries more, I believe, than the spreader did. I don't recall capacities of things offhand. Obviously on our Ohio farm we'd been using things for going on almost 20 years, so I had a better memory of that, but we're just entering our second year, and obviously this is the first time we've ever filled this silo, so and because of the capacity running the way it is, where I can't run to something that's 500, 28,500 or 24,000, that's usually the capacity of the equipment. It's just a little harder, but yeah, I think I can do 5. The only other thing I would normally then grab is some seed, but I think that was the one that I kind of filled with the automated method. So what I'm doing here is I determined I can basically get really close to the auger and then turn this way and in essence tuck the truck between the tree and the and my house, and then that basically gives us a pretty good angle. It kind of straightens the truck out. If I do that, and then I can head back, and then I just need to kind of, you know, try to steer it a bit, but you can see it's a pretty straight shot. I've done it really easily the other way. Alright, there we go. So we'll put this in here. We'll hop on out, because at this point we're going to see this get close to full, but you know, obviously we're only at 109. You know, we're not going to be at 120. Alright, so we have no regular fertilizer. We do have seeds, and we have liquid fertilizer, so we actually should go ahead. So I'm gonna go at, whoops, that's not good, because I think I probably, no, maybe not. I think we're still positioned for the most part over the silo. I think as long as it's somewhere over it, I don't think it has to be really specifically over it. I've also determined the branch sticking out on the tree here, I hit that and it'll hang me up. So we're also going to go get 1 load of fertilizer, of solid fert, put that in the silo. And we'll start with that, because we put that in the planter. So, and then the second coat is liquid, so we have some liquid from a load we had brought over. And then obviously the 3,000 or whatever it was that we had already had from the previous run. But that will basically then put us in position to be ready to operate in March. And so tomorrow will be February. You know, again, it should be closer to 11 o'clock or so, maybe even a little bit later by now. And, you know, just basically getting into February in a few hours. But in the morning, I'll definitely get on and sync. I've been kind of focused pretty heavily in the downtime, really pounding away, enjoying myself at in American Truck Simulator, and that's been my morning time instead of checking in on the farm. Alright, so we want solid fertilizer. I think this is a 1-to-1 ratio, so if that's true, that the weight's 1 instead of 1.2, we should be able to get you know, basically 24,000 and something into the trailer here, but we'll see where it maxes out. But we know we're not going to be able to get 59,000. Now if we are able to, then I think we'll be okay, but because I think those silos take more than that, although again I probably should have checked, because it would be pretty bad. I mean, definitely if we're getting up to like 30,000 or something, I'm gonna probably stop, because I don't know that it goes that far. Alright, so we're gonna call it a day there. So fertilizer's obviously lighter than lime, because we're able to get significantly more into the trailer there. And I would say we might be able to really get significantly more into the trailer, because this thing is moving much faster than it does with the lime. So I'm assuming my weight here is nowhere near what I was at before. So it makes me think fertilizer might be even less. So hopefully we don't have any problem in getting that silo loaded, I believe, just like the liquid fert and so forth, we should just be able to pull up next to it and dump into that unload point, and it should take it. Obviously, we'll find out in a moment here, but this is what we need to do here in the off season. And the hope would be then at some point that we fill these up, keep them kind of topped off, and then we can go a few years without having to get supplies, so that we just basically come and get our things locally. The other thing that did happen that I didn't mention at the beginning was there was another maintenance window for the servers, and so there were some new things put in, including liquid silo that takes herbicide. So I can put up, let me see here, there we go. So yeah, we can dump that, and I'm hoping that we're not going to be surprised and have less capacity. Yep, it took it all. Alright. So we know we have that, and that'll be good enough, and in the interim I'll figure out what I really can do with it. I need to get around to the other side, so I'm just trying to be careful here that I don't go, well, I may be able to just back up and then turn, I suppose. I'm just trying to park the truck where it belongs. So at this point I definitely need to start a very, very sharp turn, and then we'll just start straightening that out. No, that's way too sharp now. Obviously we've oversteered. So we'll get this worked out here. Should be able to... So definitely trying to figure out kind of how to interact with the yard is still a bit of a challenge, because yeah, again, we're turning and pivoting more than we should. The good news is, because it's a relatively easy trailer to work with, it does let us... are we hung up? We might be. That would be unfortunate. Not entirely sure if we are or not. Because yeah, at this point it should. I just don't know if, like where I was at on the ground, I may just not have been making contact, because that does happen sometimes. Alright, let me just turn it a bit that way. Oh, that was really more than I wanted to, but that'll work. Because I still can do what I need as far as fitting the tractor in and so forth. So I do need to do that and get the tractor from the shop. So let me head over there, because I still have that sitting there from when it was running. So that's not good, but I'm going to head back the way we've come before. But yeah, this will get ourselves back from when we drove out here to try to tow the auger, and then I need to put the auger away, and then we're all set. But I did take a look around the map a little bit as I was driving the auger back for half an hour. I don't see that any other FM has taken possession of any other fields, so I don't think we've missed anything. I did remember after I was talking about that early on, 6 had come up for auction. So if I can get that done, you know, that might be something to do tomorrow. But again, I haven't really been showing a lot of that unless something interesting is going on. But it's a smaller field, so I may go ahead and make that work. Just another episode, just so you can see some work. But yeah, clearly his canola withered, so he didn't get to it. He's also having kind of the stripe problem with the fertilizer on how the field is appearing. So yeah, right now it looks like yeah, he got rid of his shed, but he hasn't gone ahead and replaced it somewhere, so I'm not quite sure what his plans may be, but obviously we'll see how things evolve over the next few years on Misty Brook here. So, yeah, I haven't gone this way. It looks like he's still kind of in the starting to plant and had harvested 2 rows, 2 passes. So, I mean, really, yeah, all he harvested of everything he planted. That's got to be expensive, because he put all that in to go ahead and plant it. I'm sure he fertilized and everything else. And maybe he got a full harvester off that field, but that would be it, like 20,000 liters. So, definitely not the year I'm sure he planned for. So hopefully he'll have a better time this coming season. But yeah, with the trees the way they are, clearly, like, we can see our big grain silo, we can see the lime silo we were just filling, we can see the shed where we've got all our equipment stored. It's very easy to see into the yard, but you know, we also know, like, once those trees flesh out, we've got a nice little secluded spot. So yeah, at some point, I've also got honey to take care of. I don't know that I'm going to do that before I get into the planting this year, so just not sure I'll have the time. And at this point, it kind of all sits there and waits until I move the pallet. It just might turn into, we'll have, 20 or 30 pallets to move, which will turn into quite the production. Alright, well, we'll leave this here. And then we'll run over to the auger. And we'll get that folded up and get that moved. Alright. So we need to start the engine first, so that lowers. Alright, we'll tuck this in, and once we get here it starts pulling it up. There you go, it attaches to that chain so that it can move. I think we want to revert. No? Okay, we want to go this way. It makes very weird sounds, as you can tell. But at this point we'll... See, I think we're still like over the silo, so it's not letting me lower. Now I think we'd be, oh no, we're still not. I don't understand. I'm hoping we can get everything put back down. That would be pretty sad if I can't. Why is this not lowering? Well, that might be a really irritating little problem here. But at this point, like, there's no tree, so but it's still... Why is it doing that? It's like if I fold this, because that's what I want, but I want it on the ground. Alright, so I'm out here in the field. It's clearly got nothing to do with being in the trees. Something's off, so I've posted something in the questions on our Discord channel for FSN. Maybe the operations folks have got to do something to fix it. I don't know. But what I'm going to do, I guess, is I'll go park it where I intend to, and perhaps when I leave the server and it's folded up, like when I come back, it'll be back on the ground. I don't know. But yeah, so my thought is basically put it here, and I'm not going to be able to tell because, yeah, there it sits in the air again. But I'm going to fold it up. I'm going to turn it off. Get out of it. It didn't fall down like... Oh, wait, maybe it did. Did it? It did. Okay. Huh. So something to do if you're folding it while you're in it. Alright, well the good news is... Okay, now it's stored, so let me just make sure it's not... Yeah, it's not sticking out past the end of the silo. Nope. Plenty of room. So that is as good a place as any to store it right now. So I will do that. And I think we're good. So crisis averted, I hope. It should be. But that was weird. Definitely wasted a ton of time that I prefer not to waste, because again, it's late. But anyway, at this point, we've got 27,000 liquid fert, 27,000 seeds, almost 30,000 fertilizer, and almost 115,000 lime. That's what we've got for now. I'll see you next time.